In this video, you're going to learn 5 ways that you can mentally prepare for competition. Hey there, I'm Eli Straw, mental performance coach and the founder of SuccessStartsWithin.com. Mentally preparing for competition means that you're going to go into a game with the best mindset. And the best mindset means one that's going to help you perform your best. So way number 1 is going to be by using visualization. Going into a game, you can use visualization to really help you build that confidence. And let me ask you, if you were to be a little bit more confident going into a game, don't you think that you would perform a little bit better? And that's where visualization comes into play. You can use visualization to imagine yourself performing and seeing yourself perform well. It really goes off this idea of we need to see ourselves succeed in order to feel confident. That's why when you train a whole bunch and you're feeling really good at being able to master this skill, you're going to have more confidence in it. But you can also use visualization to help you get relaxed. If you're feeling really anxious going into a game, you can envision a relaxing scene, and that's going to really help calm yourself down. Number 2 is going to be mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness meditation helps you as an athlete when it comes to improving your focus, but also getting you into a nice calm and relaxed mindset. And going into a game, the reason that you would want a calm mindset is because when I say a calm mindset, I mean a mind that's very still, right? One that can be controlled a little bit easier because you don't have a ton of racing thoughts going through your head. Mindfulness meditation is where you sit down, close your eyes, and you just really begin bringing your awareness onto your breath. Then when you notice your awareness drifting onto a thought, you return it onto your breath. The way that you can use this as an athlete in terms of preparing for competition is kind of on a consistent basis where you're training mindfulness meditation every single day. But then let's say that it's the morning before a game and you're wanting to get yourself into a nice and relaxed state. Well, you can perform mindfulness meditation then. And then you can also use a little bit of a modified version of mindfulness meditation when you're actually at the field or the court and you're warming up. And you can do this by taking that same concept of keeping your attention focused on your breath. But now instead of sitting down and closing your eyes, you just do that while you're warming up. You really start focusing more on your breath. What this is going to do is keep you centered in the present moment, but it's going to really also help calm yourself down and get yourself nice and relaxed. And that helps a lot if you're dealing with fear of failure, maybe some performance anxiety. Number 3 is going to be performance objectives. Now, performance objectives are one of my favorite tools to use with the athletes that I work with. Because what performance objectives do is they give you something to focus on as the game begins. They give you a target to focus on. And what is so great about these targets is that they are 100% within your control. So we're not saying that your objective is to get 3 hits today, for example, or to score 25 points. We're saying that your objective is to stay balanced at the plate or to follow through on every shot. They're very simple and subtle things that you want to focus on. But you can really see these as like a key, right? If you focus on your follow-through as a basketball player, that puts you in a better position to make the basket. Of course you want to make the basket, and that is truly what the outcome that you want. But from a mental game standpoint, we have to think, what do you need to focus on to put yourself in the best position to get that outcome? And that's where performance objectives come into play. Number 4 is self-talk. Before a game, you want to make sure that the thoughts you have are going to lead to you feeling confident, feeling nice and focused, feeling ready and excited to perform. You don't want to have your thoughts be fearful, be leading to more anxiety, make you play timid, kind of tense up as you start the game. And so self-talk, what you can do is you can create yourself a self-talk routine. This self-talk routine is going to be a list of statements that you've decided you want to say to yourself going into a performance. And then after you memorize that list, it's so much easier for you to just start kind of putting it on replay and making it automatic and just start replaying these thoughts to yourself as the game begins. Number 5 is going to be to research your opponent. Now with this one, I have to say a word of caution before we start. And that is researching your opponent doesn't work for every athlete. I've worked with athletes who, when they research their opponent, it actually leads them to either be overconfident or to feel fearful and anxious going into the performance. So sometimes I recommend not researching your opponent if you know that that's going to lead to you feeling a little bit more anxious or getting overconfident to where you're not going to be as focused going into the game. But you're the only one that will know that for yourself. Now, if you do research your opponent, what you want to look for are any things that you can use to exploit your opponent or any signs of weakness that you can use to really help yourself perform. Then what you can do is if you identify that this is something that you can actually use to help you perform and kind of exploit them because it's a weakness you found, well, then you can set that as your objective. And so going into the game, you now have an objective. You've also used it for your game plan, and that can really help. An example would be if you're a hitter in baseball and you research the starting pitcher that you're going to face. you can start to really figure out and identify maybe their pitch pattern, what pitches they'd like to throw in certain counts, and all that kind of stuff. Researching your opponent can be very valuable, but you have to know for yourself whether or not it's really the right thing for you to do. So those are the 5 ways that you can start mentally preparing for competition. And like I said, I put a link in the description to videos I've made on all of these different topics. The only one I didn't make a video on was researching your opponent, because that one's a little bit more self-explanatory, to where you're going to be able to research your opponent for yourself. If you're in high school, it's going to look a little different than if you're in college, just the same as it's going to look a little different if you're a professional. But for visualization, for mindfulness meditation, for performance objectives, and for self-talk, I've put links in the description below to really help you get started with those tools and understand them a little bit better. If you have any questions about mentally preparing for competition, or if there are any other sports psychology or mental training topics that you want me to cover, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. If you're interested in learning more about one-on-one mental performance coaching, click the link that I put in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I wish you the best of success in all that you do.